Hey, what's happening, Jungle Army? It's Inside the Jungle coming up. We'll talk about what happened on Sunday in Pittsburgh as the Bengals improved to 7-0. It's the first time in the franchise's history. We'll also be joined by our good friend Jay Morrison from the Dayton Daily News to get his take on the Bengals and what's going to happen Thursday night when they host the Cleveland Browns. That's all coming up on Inside the Jungle. Let's hit it! This is Inside the Jungle, episode 219, recorded November 4th, 2015. Bengals win again. Video bandwidth for Inside the Jungle is made possible by the support from our Patreon community. To help support Inside the Jungle today, log on to spnt.tv/Patreon. 7-0, Bengals fans. How does it feel to be 7-0 as you cheer on this amazing Cincinnati Bengals team? It's a short week. They take on the Cleveland Browns on Thursday night. It's going to be a fun one here on Inside the Jungle. Glad you could join us. I'm Nick Seuberling, hanging out once again with my tag team partners this week, Mickey Menser and Scott Bantel. Scott, we missed you last week. Actually, we missed both of you last week. Scott, I'll start with you. How was Disney on Ice?
Oh, Nick, it was phenomenal. I mean, I can't imagine anything, even Inside the Jungle, being better than watching some princesses dance around on skates.
Okay, then. All right, then. Well, we're glad you're back this week. Well, I promise not to rag on you too much about Disney on Ice. So, of course, you were being a good dad. I can't rip on you too bad, Scott. But glad you're with us this week. Mickey was under the weather last week. He was also watching his Royals go win a World Series title. Congratulations, Mickey. Welcome back.
Thanks, man. I'm pretty excited about that. My wife was actually at that game that night.
On Wednesday night or the clinching game?
The Wednesday night game, the Cueto game.
Oh, nice. So she got to see him pitch really well, too.
Yep.
So we're glad to have you back. Looking forward to getting your take on the Bengals win over the Steelers and, of course, the Battle of Ohio Thursday night. We're really excited and very pleased to be joined yet again from the Dayton Daily News. He's been on the Bengals beat for a couple years now. He's Jay Morrison. He's brave enough to come back here on the program after saying that the Bengals wouldn't make the playoffs. I think even he's a little surprised by 7-0. But, Jay, we're glad to have you back. Welcome.
Hey, great to be back.
All right, let's start with you, Jay, since you said that the Bengals weren't going to make the playoffs. Give us your take on 7-0 and where is this team going from here?
Well, I thought they'd be a good team. I predicted 10-6. I just thought other teams would be better, but yeah, my gosh, 7-0. I don't think anybody expected that. I had them losing to Seattle. I had them losing at Pittsburgh. It's been an amazing season thus far. You look at the issues they've had in the past with the turnovers. They've cut those out. They did have the 2 picks by Andy in the fourth quarter Sunday. But the most surprising thing is that they've come from behind in these last 3 games and 4 of the last 5. That's something that it has not really been there in the past. Andy has a few fourth quarter comeback wins, but the way they've done it this year, it's just been really impressive. They either get out to a hot start and bury a team, or they fall behind and find a way to win at the end. And you can't ask for more as a fan than that, knowing that they're going to be in the game either way.
Well, each week here on the podcast, we ask the guys for their best and worst of the weekend. So I'll ask you. I'll put you on the spot, Jay. What was your best and worst of Sunday's game against the Steelers?
The best has to be the resiliency. I mean, just the fact that they stayed in that game, the way the defense kept them in it. You kept thinking that eventually the offense was going to pull something out, and they kept getting the ball into Pittsburgh territory and never doing anything, and then to pull it out at the end, that was really strong. As for the worst, I guess you got to go Andy. It was a rare bad performance for him as far as this year goes. 2 interceptions. The one in the end zone was really troubling. That it's one that you can't make that throw. It could have cost them the game. Fortunately for them, it didn't. But it was a definite rare performance by the offense, and one you hope that gets turned around this week.
Scott, I'll ask you the same question. Your best and worst of the weekend.
Well, best, I just have to say a win. I mean, I can't think of an uglier win that the Bengals have ever had. I mean, these are the type of wins that other teams get against the Bengals. When the other team just plays terrible all game long, and all of a sudden the Bengals lose. You don't ever remember that happening the other way around, where the Bengals play terrible all game long and beat the Steelers. So to win ugly like that, I think is huge. The worst, I'd say, injuries. I mean, I know this team hasn't really had any injuries thus far. So we're kind of spoiled in that regard. But to come out of that game, it sounds like Andre Smith won't be playing. Malaga sounds pretty questionable. Dunlap, I'm not sure, but for the first time this year, we're going to have a game where some starters are out. So I'll say that was the worst part.
How about Mickey? You got a best and worst of Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with those guys, Nick, that the best is the win itself in Pittsburgh. That, like Scott said, that's not a game that the Bengals typically would win. That's a game that Pittsburgh would hang over the top of the Bengals, and they were able to pull it out. And I'm going to go different for the worst. My worst is going to be all the fans that were so quick to jump on this. Oh, the Bungles are back and Andy's a bum. It's just kind of ridiculous that people are that excited, to call out, that the Bengals are struggling, and it's not necessary. I mean, they're 7-0. Worse, they would have been a 6-1. This is still a pretty darn good football team. It's just, I started just starting the block party again, Nick. I don't want to see it. So that's going to be my worst.
I am going to go for my best and worst in a very similar direction to you, Jay, except I'm going to give my best to Andy Dalton, because in years past, that's a game where Andy Dalton does not lead them to a fourth quarter win. I mean, that's a game where he implodes and they are dreadful on offense. And what comes to mind is what happened a year ago against Cleveland, right? I mean, he had a terrible beginning of that game, and obviously it didn't end very well either. So I agree with you that it was a bad performance as far as Andy Dalton this year, but at the end, he still led them to a victory when they, in the fourth quarter when they needed it. So it also helped he had some good play from his defense. So, it's not all Andy Dalton, but it's typically not his style to, after such a rough start to bounce back like that. My worst, though, I'd probably say the play of the offensive line. For what they've done all season, they really struggled against Pittsburgh's front and all the blitz packages that they brought. I was surprised at how poorly the offensive line played. What did you make of the offensive line, Jay, on Sunday?
It was really surprising that they didn't run the ball more. That Jeremy had 3 rushes in the first half. His first 2 were 12 and 15, his 2 longest runs of the year, and really nothing after that. Maybe that's something that Hugh saw, that the offensive line wasn't getting the job done. And Pittsburgh they're a good defense and they're a fast defense. Might be the fastest defense they're going to play all year. And I just think that was Hugh's mindset, was just get the ball out of Andy's hands quick and see what they can do in the passing game. But that was disappointing to only run for 78 yards. You would think if you line it up and just run Jeremy and Gio didn't. I don't know if he got a carry in that game.
Did not have a carry.
It was just really surprising. But it's one of those things where it's an aberration. You don't think it's a sign of things to come. That it's a solid offensive line. That you give everybody a pass for a bad game here or there. It wasn't their greatest performance, but you got to feel they're going to bounce back against a Cleveland team that ranks dead last in the NFL against the run.
If you want to count Gio's, maybe he did have 1 carry. I couldn't remember if they counted the fumble recovery as a carry. I doubt they would have, but even so, Jeremy Hill still had 15 carries for 60 yards. I mean, it wasn't like he was struggling in the run game. It's just they weren't calling the run plays, and maybe that's also because Pittsburgh was maybe stuffing the box, not letting the Bengals, making Andy Dalton audible out of those checks into passing. So maybe that's why they didn't run it, but when they did, they were successful at it.
Well, 27 yards on the first 2 carries, so only 33 after that on 13 carries. That's not a good average. It's less than 3 a carry.
But again, inside the 5, first and goal, 3 straight pass attempts, and not even a try at running it. Although you can make the case that they probably would have run it had they thrown the flag for pass interference on A.J. Green. Oh, wait, they did throw the flag and incorrectly picked it up. I mean, the officiating was not at its finest either on Sunday, Jay.
I have never seen a pass interference call overturned. Well, you just from the defense, and I think it was the right call. I don't think Dre interfered on that play with Martavis Bryant, but
you're talking about that. I was talking about A.J. Green.
Well, I know. That play. He was out of bounds, and they threw the flag because if he would have touched it, it would have been illegal touching. He didn't end up actually touching it because he did go out of the back of the end zone. But yeah, the one where they picked up the flag on Martavis Bryant, I've never seen that happen before. If they throw a flag for pass interference, you know it's getting called, and that would have been huge because it was 16-10 at the time. That would have given Pittsburgh a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Instead, it goes from 2nd and 18 to 3rd and 18, and they end up punting and getting nothing out of it. It was a tough game to officiate. I won't say it was. I'm not going to hammer the refs because, man, it was chippy. There was a lot of stuff going on in that game, and 20 penalties, 10 on each team. That was a hard game to officiate, but yeah, there were some curious calls.
Well, let's talk about one of the other talking points from Sunday, and that was the return of Vontaze Burfict. A lot of people were very surprised, let alone that he was even activated for that game because of the quick turnaround from just being just being back to practice last week. How surprised were you that he played, and obviously he had to play a lot more because of the injury to Ray Malaluga?
Well, when they activated him off the PUP, we knew he was going to play. They weren't going to stick him on the 53 to make him inactive because they didn't have to. They had a 3-week window to wait. So as soon as they activated him on I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, but you knew he was going to play. But yeah, not that much. I was thinking 12, 15 snaps, just a lot of third downs. And he comes out and he starts the game. He makes the first 2 tackles of the game, and then Ray Malaluga gets hurt right after that, and he played quite a bit. It was pretty impressive that he was able to do that. What you wonder about is now with the quick turnaround, if he's had time to recover physically and endurance-wise, what he's going to be like, because they are going to need him to play quite a bit more. I don't know. Ray did practice today on a limited basis. I don't know if he's going to be active tomorrow or not, but I think they're going to need a lot from Vontaze against the Browns on Thursday night.
Jay, are you surprised they activated him for that Steelers game as opposed to waiting to activate him for this Thursday game, and therefore he gets the long rest after his first game?
Yes and no, because it was originally on cutdown day. It made it sound like it was a foregone conclusion that he would be ready. Marvin talked about him, possibly being ready before Pittsburgh, and they really weighed the decision to even put him on PUP. And then as it got closer, Marvin was really bristling, and it's that he didn't want to talk about timelines, and it didn't sound good, especially when Vontaze tweeted out that he was flying to California, but he was just going out there to get checked out, and everything checked out with his doctor, everything checked out with the Bengals doctors, and I think they wanted him just for that lift, just to go into Pittsburgh and give Pittsburgh something to think about, that this guy's coming back. I don't think they plan. Oh, I know they didn't plan to play him as much as he did, but I wasn't super surprised when he got the medical clearance. It made sense that they would stick him in there, just as I said, just to give the Steelers a little something extra to think about.
What about this week with Andre Smith being out? Should Bengals fans be concerned that Winston's going to be the right tackle, and that their second-round pick Jake Fisher hasn't been able to beat him out for that backup role?
No, I don't think so. He's a veteran. He's been around. He's 10 years now, and you look what he did last year. He'd only been here for 12 days, and they threw him in there at halftime of that Cleveland game, and he was great. He started the rest of the year. The running game really picked up. It was that week before that they couldn't run at all against Pittsburgh. They had started getting the running game going, and Pittsburgh really shut them down, and then they were trying Pollock at guard and had Bowling out at tackle, and they just decided, okay, this guy's been here 12 days. Let's see if he can go. They stick him in there in the second half at Cleveland, and it was one of the best running games the Bengals have had in the Marvin tenure, and I'm not worried about him at all. We've seen this from the Bengals, that the patience they have with the guys. Drake Kirkpatrick waits forever to start. Darqueze Dennard, first-round pick, waits forever to start. They kind of eased Tyler Eifert in, a first-round pick. Jake Fisher, I think, is going to be a really good tackle in this league, but he's still young. And you look what he came in that Pittsburgh game, first play, comes in as tackle eligible and false starts. I think that kind of thing, just the inexperience, I think concerns him a little bit. And I think Winston is just more of a safer bet. Obviously, Jake's got a great upside, but I think they're going with more of the sure thing with Eric Winston.
All right, Jay, we got a couple of questions from our chat room. Doc wants to know what's the signature win for the Bengals so far this year?
I still think it's Seattle. To be down that much against a Super Bowl team and to do it in the fourth quarter, come back the way they did. The defense played awesome to give them a chance. The offense played great to pull out the win. If they lose that game, who knows what happens? Maybe they go to Buffalo and trip up there, and then go into Pittsburgh, and things easily could have worked out the other way there, and then all of a sudden you're looking at a 4-3 team instead of a 7-0 team. I think that Seattle game made believers of the fans, the fence fans. But I really think it instilled a lot of confidence in this Bengals team. That was a huge signature win.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. And then another one from Brian, who, based on what the Bengals have done so far, how do you predict the seeding for the AFC in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's really hard to predict. I mean, I can't see them being lower than a 3, but you look, the top 3 teams are all undefeated right now. You could feasibly have the Patriots and the Bengals go 16-0, and it's going to come down to strength of victory to see who gets that 1 seed. The Patriots have to play the Broncos, and the Bengals have to play the Broncos. So those are going to be two key games. I think the Patriots are going to be the 1 seed. I just don't see them tripping up more than a couple games. The Bengals have some tough games down the stretch. It's going to be hard to win in Denver. I still think that San Francisco game, as bad as the 49ers are playing, is going to be really, really tough. It comes after the Christmas holiday, and it's one of those, it's a West Coast game where they traditionally don't play well, even though they won out in Oakland this year. It's a primetime game. We know how they've struggled in primetime, although that could get flexed. If things go the way they are, that will get flexed to the afternoon. But it has the makings of one of those classic trap games. But, they got Pittsburgh again, and they got Baltimore again at home. If Baltimore gets things turned around, I haven't buried the Ravens yet. Baltimore could have everything on the line in that Week 17 game at Cincinnati. So I don't see – I shouldn't say I can't see the Bengals getting the 1 seed, but I don't think they will. I think the Patriots get it, and then it's going to come down to Denver, Cincinnati for that 2 seed.
Jay, with another question along the offense.
Okay. Yep, hang on, we're getting a little bit of feedback. Go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say I'm hearing myself twice. Another question along the offensive line. With Cedric Ogbuehi, I saw this week that he's done with rehab. Do you see him being activated at some point in time this year, or do you think, unless they have an offensive line injury, do you think they redshirt him the entire year?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Unless they have an injury, there's no reason to activate him. I mean, he's so far behind right now, even though he's done with rehab, as far as learning the plays and getting in there and practicing. And he's not. If they activate him, that means he practices. I think they just wait and see if there's an injury by week 12. If there's not an injury by week 12, then that's the deadline for them to activate him. And I think they just put him on season-ending IR and, like you said, call it a redshirt year. I don't think if he comes in, he's going to play any better than any of the tackles they have right now. So it's just give him some more time, even though the rehab's done. Time is a great thing when you're dealing with an ACL injury. Let it heal up even more, and let him come back in the spring for OTAs, and let him go from there.
But even if you activate him, that means somebody's got to go, and I don't know who on this team right now you can really afford to let go. I thought I wasn't surprised by Greg Little being released, but again, outside of him, I'm not even sure where they would go if they wanted to activate him. So I agree. My best bet would be to put him on IR and let him sit out the first year and see what happens.
It'd be a really tough call. Who's the 53rd man on the roster right now? I don't know which direction they go. That's why I think, unless it was an injury, if it was an offensive line injury where you had to put a guy on IR, then that's a perfect little swap out. But I don't see any reason to activate him, if there's not an injury.
Well, let's knock on wood and hope that doesn't happen. That's the way they're playing right now. One of the other questions we got here in our chat room, they want to know who you think the first loss will be. Hopefully there aren't any, but if you had to look at the rest of the schedule, that you mentioned a couple games, Pittsburgh again. They've got San Francisco. They still got to go to Arizona, which has got flexed to primetime as well. Some tough games. Is there anybody out there that you could see that you're looking ahead and say, I can see them losing?
Yeah, I think it might be Arizona. I can't see them losing to Cleveland Thursday night, although it's when the Bengals play the Ravens and the Bengals play the Steelers, you don't know what you're going to get in any kind of rivalry game, but when those teams meet and one team is substantially better than the other, it usually plays out. There's usually not an upset. With Cincinnati-Cleveland, who knows? There have been so many years where the worst team has beat the better team in that series. Who knows what happens? But I don't think the Bengals lose tomorrow night, but it wouldn't shock me. I can't see them losing to Houston at home on Monday night, but going to Arizona, again, it's a long trip. It's a primetime game. Carson Palmer, the Bengals got their revenge, so to speak, on him the first time they met. Now he's playing out of his mind. He's an MVP candidate. He might even be ahead of Andy Dalton right now in terms of that runner-up MVP to Tom Brady. That's going to be a tough game out there. I think that could be the first one they lose this year.
We're hanging out with Jay Morrison from the Dayton Daily News. He's been covering the Bengals for 4 years, right, Jay?
The fourth, yes.
4 years down at Paul Brown Stadium. What's we mentioned some of the injuries earlier. What's the outlook right now? We know Andre Smith's not playing. He's already been ruled out for tomorrow night's game. Carlos Dunlap, what's his status?
Yeah, he and Ray Maluga both were limited in practice today. They're both questionable, which means 50-50. I think Dunlap plays. Maluga, I'm not so sure. They've got the luxury there of having Vontaze back. They can deactivate Ray and put P.J. Dawson in there as kind of an emergency linebacker. It's hard to tell. We weren't able to see it was closed to the media today, so we weren't really able to see how much they were doing. All we get is the injury report saying that they were limited. It wouldn't surprise me if they deactivated Ray, but I do think Dunlap will play.
Jay, in the preseason, we heard a ton about how good Dre Kirkpatrick looked, and so far this season, I haven't been that impressed with him. In fact, I feel like he's been the weakest link in that secondary. Any concerns with his play, and think we see any more of Denard coming down the stretch?
That's going to be a really interesting battle because they love Darquez. They love everything he's done, and he's just kind of in that learning mode that Dre was in, but Dre was behind Leon and Terrence Newman and these guys that had all this experience. Dre doesn't really have that experience, and you're right, he has struggled at times. That first drive in Pittsburgh was not a good one at all. And I talked to him about that, and he said he was, when you're going against a guy like Antonio Brown, you can't just go out there and be all aggressive and say you're going to shut him down. He's going to burn you. So he was playing soft. He was trying to feel him out a little bit. And he got 3 of his 6 catches on that first drive. Things went a little bit better after that, but they put Adam Jones on Antonio a lot after that as well. It wouldn't shock me if Darquez were to supplant him, but I think it would have to take some major breakdowns by Dre. I think they really like what they have in him, and it's kind of we forget this is his 4th year in the league, but it's his first year as a starter. There's still kind of that feeling out period, and I think they're just trying to let him get his feet wet, so to speak. Even though we are halfway through the season now, when you get to this point, you say a guy's not a rookie anymore, and obviously he's not a rookie. It's his 4th year, but he is a first-year starter. They're going to have to see some improvement in this second half of the season, or we could see Darquez slide into that spot.
I mentioned a couple minutes ago this is your 4th year covering the team, and it's the first time in franchise history the Bengals have ever been 7-0. Is this when you're watching this team and you're around them almost on a daily basis? Is there something different? Like, are you seeing and actually feeling something different while you're down there? Like, is this a different Cincinnati Bengals team compared to years past that you've covered?
Yeah, I think it all starts with Andy. I mean, he is a different guy. He is loose and he's confident. And he's cocky.
He's got the hair.
Yeah, the hair. He's got the swag going on. He's not going to be a grab you by the throat and get in your face scream kind of leader like Tom Brady is, but he really has evolved as a leader this year, and the team has followed. You know, in the past it's been Whitworth and he's been the guy, and Whitworth said he was kind of handing it off to Andy, and we were all kind of wondering if Andy was meant for that role. You see the pep talk that he gave in Indy last year that gets made fun of so much on the internet, and you know, he's still not that guy that's going to give you a Ray Lewis pregame speech. It's just going to want to make you run through a brick wall. But he's leading in different ways. And what really stuck out was last week at Pittsburgh when they were walking off we're waiting outside the tunnel, or in the tunnel outside the locker room, and they're walking off the field. No cheers, no high five. If you were standing there and you didn't watch the game, you would have thought they lost. It was just, and maybe because it was such a physical game and they were just spent, but it just looked like they expected to win. They won. They were walking into the locker room, business as usual. There's a different feel. Even after all the wins, even after that Seattle win, it wasn't like a crazy party atmosphere. I think it was more relief, but it's like they expect it now. In the past, when those big wins came, they really celebrated them. But it is a little toned down now, and no matter how much, you know, they've been getting the questions all along. 6-0, they tied the best record in franchise history. 7-0, now they've said it. What's it mean? What's it mean? And to a man, they all say it means nothing. There's a lot of football left to play, and if you don't finish the race, it doesn't matter how you start it. And I just think that's a mindset that's come from Marvin and Andy on down to the rest of the team.
Well, one of the ways they can start answering some of those critics from the national media about this team and the prime time and can they win in the postseason can get answered tomorrow night when they host the Cleveland Browns on a short week, starting Johnny Manziel. I'm not sure what the heck's going on in Cleveland. It sounds like they're trying to trade guys left and right. It just seems like there's all kinds of issues up there and up there in Cleveland. So, what's that?
It's perpetual. That franchise is such a mess, and you feel bad because they've got such great fans. They're so loyal, and it's like the ownership of that team just can't get out of its own way. It's maddening. A couple of years ago, they looked like they were ready to do something. They had a great defense, and it looked like they were going to build around that. And here they are, 2-6, looking at another rebuild.
Are you surprised they went with Manziel on a short week? And I don't know how injured McCown is. Obviously, it must be enough that they feel like they need to start Manziel. But on a short week going up against a team that's, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, on fire right now, on primetime football.
I don't think it was a choice. I think it was what they had to do. I think Josh is hurt that bad that he wasn't. You know, he told some of the reporters in Cleveland he was having trouble sleeping because he can't breathe. You don't want a guy in there taking more shots. If he's got a rib and shoulder injury, I think this is more a necessity that they have to put Johnny Football in there. And what a wild card he is. You would think that, you know, the Bengals destroyed him up there last year when he made his NFL debut. It would seem like that would be the case again, but you got a guy like that can just make plays happen out of nothing. It's enough to cause a little uneasiness for the Bengals defense.
So do you think this is going to be a different game than a year ago when they came to town and made Andy Dalton look absolutely horrible on primetime?
Oh, yeah. I cannot see that happening again. I mean, even when Andy has a bad game, like last week at Pittsburgh, they found a way to win. I can't see just a total meltdown. And in the same time, I think it's going to be a different game than we saw in Cleveland last year, too. I mean, they're not going to shut the Browns out. They're not going to just roll them like they did. I think we could see another strong running performance like we did up in Cleveland. They would be thrilled to get Jeremy Hill going again. And the Browns, like I said, the Browns rank last in the NFL against the run. This would seem to be the perfect time to kind of get him going. But I don't. Johnny Manziel's he's a little more seasoned now, even though he's only got one start under his belt this year. Last year it was just that deer in the headlights kind of situation. I don't think you're going to see that this year. I think it's going to be a competitive game.
Well, it should be a fun one Thursday night. Again, Jay, we appreciate you stopping by. Even though you said the Bengals weren't going to make the postseason, I think you're seeing the light now. It took a couple weeks. Again, I can't fault you for making that prediction. It didn't look. You didn't know that Indy was going to stink it up, or that the rest of the AFC has kind of been really down. So, I mean, how are you supposed to know that?
I had Indy at 14-2, so every now and then I'm wrong.
Well, again, we appreciate you taking the time to stop by. Where can folks read your stuff? Where can they follow you?
Dayton Daily, MyDaytonDailyNews.com, on Twitter, Jay Morrison CMG, and on Facebook, I've got a Jay Morrison DDN page, and then we've got a Cincinnati Bengals News Now page. Post all the links on there. If you go to My Dayton Daily News, you got to be a subscriber. You got to pay for it. But if you follow me on Twitter, follow me on the Facebook page, just click on the links and it's free.
Awesome. Go check it out. Jay, we really appreciate you joining our show again, and we look forward to doing it again here real soon.
Yeah, I look forward to that too. Thanks, guys.
And go Falcons. Your Bobcats are going down tonight.
Oh, you.
All right, that's Jay Morrison from the Dayton Daily News. Really appreciate him stopping by the program this week here on Inside the Jungle. Good stuff, as always. Scott, man, Sunday, Pittsburgh. That was rough, right? I mean, you probably were screaming at your television, wondering what the heck's going on, but they pulled it out.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, it was such a frustrating game to watch. I mean, you can't I can't think of a game where the Bengals have played so poorly and won. I mean, they kept getting in their way with penalties. Dalton was making some bad decisions, turnovers. They weren't running the ball. The offensive game plan seemed flawed, and that's being nice. The defense, I know they're going to give up 10 points, but they were a little bit concerning to me, especially Dre Kirkpatrick. And then you have a blocked field goal. I mean, it just seemed like all of the stars were aligned. I mean, they just could not have played worse, and to come out with a win is just, it's very un-Bengal-like, especially against the Steelers. Like I said, that's the kind of game where, the Steelers play terrible, and all of a sudden they come back and beat the Bengals, and this time the Bengals turned it around on them and in Pittsburgh, and quite frankly, it ended the AFC North race. I mean, at 3.5, really 4 games up with 9 to play. I mean, I think that's an unsurmountable, difference for the Steelers to make up.
Mickey, it wasn't clean, but hey, at the end, the win's a win.
Right. In the past, this was the kind of game that we would talk about, if the Bengals dropped, like, well, they were in it, they had chances, we're just as good as Pittsburgh, we were in the game the whole time, but now it's just different. It's a different feeling. We stumbled a little bit, but the guys got it done. The win's there. And kind of like Scott said, they shut the door on the division. I mean, we can all assume the Bengals are going to win tomorrow night. So then for the rest of the season, even if they went 500, they're looking at a 12-4 record. That's pretty freaking awesome. So I don't see, I don't think they're going to cruise. I think that there's bigger things for this team. But, yeah, a win in Pittsburgh, you'll take it however you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely will. Part of the reason why that team won on Sunday was because of the play of Vontaze Burfict. He came back. He was big. He clearly went after Le'Veon Bell on purpose. That's sarcasm, folks. Your take on the whole Vontaze, Le'Veon, dirty, whatever you want to call it, Mickey. I mean, I personally don't think it was dirty. And I've got some choice words coming up, but I'll let you chime in first.
It's interesting. I've looked at it a few times, right? And then you have to take into account what was said after the game. In no way do I think that Burfict had intent on that hit to injure Bell. Personally, and I might get some heat for this, I think he knew he did hurt him, and I think the way that he ran off after that probably wasn't the best, and that's what I'm going to say. He made a statement afterward that he heard something pop, and that's why he was running away. But when you watch him running away, he's pretty darn excited. So I don't know if it's excitement for the tackle or excitement because you're in that moment, and that's just the kind of guy he was. It's interesting. I don't think it was a dirty hit, and we've seen Burfict do dirty things in the past. There's been posts on it on Steelers sites and stuff about how he could have done this, or he could, in the speed of the game, he made the tackle the only way he knew how. It's unfortunate the injury happened. In no way did I think it was intended, but I don't know if he hated the outcome.
Scott, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any intent at all. I don't think it was a dirty hit. It was a textbook tackle. It's unfortunate that the injury occurred. You never root for injuries, even with one of your rivals. But the backlash against him afterwards is just ridiculous. I mean, take a look at that same game, the hit that Mike Mitchell had on Marvin Jones. Perfectly clean hit. Mike Mitchell gets up, he celebrates. At that time, he didn't know whether or not Marvin Jones was injured badly or not. So, I think it's more so sour grapes on the Steelers' behalf, and I find it a bit ironic that they're the ones upset about it when you take a look at this rivalry in the past, and you've got Kevin Huber getting his jaw broke on what did seem kind of like a dirty hit. You had the Heinz Ward hit on Keith Rivers.
Dirty.
That was dirty, and in fact caused a rule change with the crackback blocks. And you have the Kimo von Oelhoffen hit. So it's kind of ironic to hear the Steelers now claiming this was a dirty hit when there was nothing dirty at all about that hit. His celebration, maybe they can have a problem with it. I don't know, but the hit itself was perfectly fine.
Well, on Twitter, I got called a jackass and an idiot because after it was announced that Le'Veon Bell was going to be that he had severely injured his knee and torn his MCL or whatever he did, I simply tweeted out something to the effect of Le'Veon Bell done for the year. Bengals fans be like, and just kind of shrugging my shoulders like, oh, sorry, like we don't care because you've done this 3 times to our players now. Like I'm sorry, I'm not sorry that Le'Veon Bell's out for the year. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I don't care. You've done this to 3 of our players in this rivalry over the last 10 years. I really, frankly, don't care. I'm not sitting here rooting for the fact that Le'Veon Bell got hurt, but I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for the Steelers. Why should I feel sorry for the Steelers? I don't. So I got called a jackass and an idiot by a local Cincinnati media member, and I'll just leave it at that. I think you're crazy. You might want to check and know your audience. If you want to cover the Steelers, go cover the Steelers, man, and I'll just say that. I'm not broken up by it, clearly, but again, I wasn't rooting for Le'Veon Bell getting injured either. But look, it's a rivalry. It changed the game. There's no question about it. But I'm sorry. I'm not sorry that Le'Veon Bell's out for the year. And if Steelers fans are broken up about it because you think it was a dirty play, you're clearly crazy. Go back and watch the tape. It was just a simple tackle. You're crying over the fact that he got up and ran away. Give me a break. Sour grapes. That's what it is, folks. Sorry, your quarterback throws 3 interceptions on a bum knee too. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right.
It was cute, Nick. How Big Ben scrambles for a big first down, looks 100% fine, and then he throws his first interception, and he's hobbling on the sideline like it looked like he needed a wheelchair, and then he's grabbing his knee. Like that's typical Roethlisberger. Like, oh, that was I'm playing hurt. Look how badass I am. I just thought that was funny.
It did. I saw him limping over there. I'm going, oh, here we go. Here come the excuses. Let's go ahead and put Landry Jones in so that when they lose, they can have the excuse of, oh, we had to play our backup quarterback. So, yeah, you know what? Whatever. You guys lost. And in fact, the Bengals played poorly enough. You should have won the game. But because you couldn't handle your business with your quarterback and your running game and your defense, you kept the Bengals around. And it cost you. So, you know what? I don't feel sorry for Steelers fans. And again, for that, you can check my Twitter timeline if you want to find out who it was, and I'll just leave it at that. I wasn't celebrating the fact that he was injured. I don't care. The Steelers have injured 3 of our players in 10 years due to dirty plays. This wasn't even a dirty play. I'm sorry that I don't feel bad for Le'Veon Bell. I don't. Sorry.
I love fired up Subs. I think we need to get him fired up every show.
This happened on Sunday night during Sunday Night Football. I'm very glad we didn't have a show that night because I probably would have dropped a couple F-bombs. That's how angry I was at being called this by a Cincinnati media member. So, anyway, should we open up the phones, guys? You want to do that? We've got a lot of people that want to chime in. In fact, we've already had somebody on hold for 41 minutes. That's dedication right there. 513-657-2807 is the number to call. Get in touch, have your thoughts heard on the program. You can also get in touch with us via Skype inside the jungle. So let's go to our first call, area code 937. Hi, who's this?
Hey, this is Jordan from Pickle, Ohio.
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm pumped. The Bengals are 7-0, Jordan. They're in first place. I think they're going to go 16-0. Maybe not, but I'm pumped. A lot to be excited about, right, Jordan?
Hey, we can only hope. That's what I'm hoping for.
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, first off, I got a buddy of mine at my job. He's a big-time Steelers fan, and he came up to me Friday talking smack and saying, you know, we're going to be your first loss, blah, blah, blah. You know how Steelers fans are. So Monday, I walked in, and I took a page out of Fatal's book, and I went up to him, and I got right in his face, and I said, "Who frickin' day?" And I just walked away from him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy. Later on, he came up and shook my hand. He's like, "Yeah, you guys got us. We'll get you later on in the season." But I'm calling defensive-wise tomorrow night. Do you think we should blitz against Johnny, or just kind of stay back and kind of play a zone and see if he can beat us passing-wise?
Here's what I would do, and I'll let you, Scott and Mickey, chime in as well, Jordan. I'm thinking, how much has he really been working at studying game plans this season, right, knowing he's not the starter? I'm guessing he hasn't really been doing much of that, right? And now you add to the fact it's a short week, and they've already got a blueprint for beating Johnny Manziel from a year ago, right? So if I'm the Bengals, I'm simply going to disguise my coverages, try to confuse him, and really only rush 4, and just kind of contain him in the pocket. I don't think he can beat you in the pocket. I think once you let him get outside the pocket and let him use his feet, that's where he beats you. And I think that's what happens when you blitz. That's going to, you know, I think that's when they find themselves in trouble. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would put the pressure on him, and I would make Manziel beat him. I don't think their run game is good enough to make the Bengals really put an extra guy in the box. But you know, I would certainly say put the pressure on Manziel, make him beat him. I don't think he can. I don't think he's got the weapons. I don't think he's got the arm, the experience. I'd throw everything at him.
I mean, I agree. Just limit any broken things where, you know, he might be able to create, but I'm not nervous by anything that he brings.
So there you have it, Jordan.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to say I listen to your guys' show every Monday morning and Thursday morning podcasts, and I hope to continue to keep listening the rest of this year. And I'm a first-time caller, so I know a lot of my buddies at work tomorrow will be hearing this, so giving them a shout-out.
Awesome.
I love your guys' podcast, and keep up the good work.
Awesome, Jordan. Thanks for the call, and thanks for holding, man. That's a long time to hold. We appreciate you tuning in.
I was sitting here watching the Cavs Knicks and flipping over between the BG and OU games, so it was worth it.
Awesome. Thanks for the call, Jordan. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Hooday.
Hooday. That's Jordan from Pickla getting us started here on the podcast. Let's go to area code 513. Hi, who's this?
Hey, this is James from Cincinnati.
Hey, what's up, James?
Not much. I didn't. I tried a few times to get in, even with those extra phone lines. You guys were still busy on Sunday.
Dude, the Sunday was crazy busy. Oh man, it was nuts, but it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was cool.
I checked in on you guys. You seemed a little bit manic.
Well, it was busy. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So, Vontaze Burfict is not human. Like, how many practices did he have last week? 2 practices?
Something like that, yeah.
And he tied for the lead for tackles, playing what were supposed to be limited snaps after getting, like, the most dreaded injury in sports.
I agree with you.
He didn't miss a step. Did he look like he was slower than last year?
I actually thought he looked pretty fresh. And maybe that's because he hasn't played any compared to the other guys, but I actually thought he looked pretty fresh out there.
I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, oh God, they're going to put him in. He's gonna be lumbering around. He's going to be a liability in coverage because he's just not going to be, he's not going to be Vontaze. But he was just Tez. That's all he was.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I'm wondering how he's going to do tonight, though. I guess depending on when you listen to this podcast, I wonder how he's going to do against the Browns on a short week. And I'd be interested to see how he does tonight.
Yep, I'll be at the game tomorrow wearing my Burfict jersey, so hopefully it does well. I've got a bold prediction for you guys.
Bring it.
Well, half of it's not very bold. The first half is the Bengals win comfortably.
All right.
Not very bold. But the second half is I don't know who either of the Browns running backs are, so I predict that one of them will have 100 yards. That's the way it works with this defense. If you got Adrian Peterson, he runs for 45 yards. If you get Lynch, 50 yards. If you get Stephen Masser from UTEP, International, he's going to get 120 yards.
All right. Well, I hope you're wrong, James.
Hey, the first half is good.
Yes.
I don't care if they allow that many yards if they win, but that's the way it works for them. Well, I'll listen to the rest of you guys. I'll let you guys go.
You're the man, James. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, who dat?
Who dat? It's James from Cincy giving us a ring. Let's go to, again, area code 513. Hi, who's this?
Greg from Cincinnati. How y'all doing?
Greg, what's going on, my man?
Just getting ready for tomorrow's game, buddy. Well, look, you look at tomorrow's game, good Lord, Joe Hayden, Dante Whitner, and I hear that Gibson guy might not be playing. And is this also true that I think Hardline and Hawkins aren't playing either? Is that true?
Really? Baby Hawk's not playing?
No, he's not.
I heard he wasn't practicing.
Oh, what a shocker. Andrew Hawkins injured. Who knew?
Yeah, Hartline, Hawkins, Hayden, Whitner,
I forgot Brian Hartline was even
Rob
there.
Hausler, and of course McCown. All out.
So let's all so they're gonna throw Johnny Manziel out there with absolutely nothing. Against
watch out for Barnage.
Well, with an offensive line that half of them are trying to are trying to get traded right now, who probably don't care. So yeah, if I'm Alex Mack, I'm just gonna go Olay and let my guy. Maybe not. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Barnage is a pretty good tight end, and he's having a really good year. But again, I don't know what kind of rapport Johnny Manziel has with him. He obviously had a good rapport with McCown, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with Manziel.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff. But you know what? You got to help me out here. Why is it that I'm nervous for this game tomorrow? I'm just nervous. It's the Browns. It just looks too easy to be true and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's still a primetime game. I'm kind of nervous for this game. I don't know why I am, but I just am and stuff. Can you help me out here why I am nervous?
Because a year ago they played the same team in primetime and it looked awful. Mickey, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I get your nervousness, Greg, but I think you just take a step back. This team's different. The caller before said the Browns running back, I don't know, Crowell or whatever, will probably have 100 yards, and they might, but the Bengals are going to own this game. It's what we saw last time. There's not a remote possibility that's going to happen here. The Browns are not competitive. They just, any fire they may have had in their belly, they just got ripped out with all that trade deadline crap with Joe Thomas. They debated trading the best left tackle in football for some magic beans, some draft picks that they would have screwed up anyway. So it's Cleveland, and they're going to Cleveland it up tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun game for the Bengals to just get back on track. And I think they're coming in with the worst run defense in the NFL. I think the Bengals are just going to run the ball right down their throat.
That's one way to avoid the Andy and primetime jinx, right? Just hand it off.
Yeah, exactly. But like I say, Joe Hayden, we never threw the age in the game because Joe Hayden would always guard him, but all your defensive backfield is hurt now and stuff. I mean, I don't even know any of their defensive backs. They got that Justin Gilbert guy, but that guy was a bust from last year. I mean, like I said, this looks all too easy and stuff and all that. But like I say, I tell you guys said exactly what my brother said. This is a different Bengals team now. I got to keep thinking that in my head. This is a different Bengals team, man.
It is a different team. They're 7-0. It's never been done, man.
Absolutely not and stuff. And I tell you, you know what? I appreciate Le'Veon Bell. You know what? It's one of those old sayings. They don't like getting a taste of their own medicine and stuff. With Keith Rivers, them cheering that, or how about them getting Kevin Huber, all that stuff they did to us over the years, and it just happens to them. And all of a sudden, this guy's crying on Twitter, threatening Burfict. Give me a break.
Oh, yeah. It's just, what are you going to do? It's Steelers fans, Greg.
I mean, like I say, I just think they're hypocrites and stuff. It's okay for them to do that to everybody else, but if someone does back to them, they call them out and stuff. Like I said, this is football and stuff. And like you said, Burfict was just trying to make a tackle. It wasn't like he was trying to delight him. He was just trying to tackle him. And he was cheering and all. How was he supposed to know he got hurt and stuff? He was just cheering because he stopped the guy. He wasn't cheering because he hurt him. You just can't. I just don't understand that. I mean, I don't know why this is being made such a big deal. If he gets fined, then I guess everybody else should get fined for tackling.
Oh, it's because they lost, and they lost their best player for the year. So that's why.
That's true. That's true. All right, yeah, I guess you got a point. I mean, I'd be mad too and stuff, but yeah, you're right.
Hey, I don't care. They lost, man. They're 4-4.
Exactly. So yeah, that's all I care about. You win at Pittsburgh. I can't believe how we won that game, but a win is a win, especially at Pittsburgh, right?
That's right. Greg, have fun tomorrow night, man.
I will do.
I want to hear you nice and loud on TV.
I will do, buddy. Hoo day.
That's Greg from Cincy here on Inside the Jungle. Yeah, I want to go back to the whole that guy calling me out. I didn't see the Pittsburgh media calling out Steelers fans for celebrating breaking Kevin Huber's jaw, right? They were celebrating the fact that they busted up a punter and they thought it was a clean play. Do you remember that? The Steelers fans didn't think there was anything wrong with what happened to Kevin Huber's jaw. But I didn't see the Pittsburgh media calling out their fans for being idiots or jackasses.
Nick,
but I do it.
Nick, why you got your panties in a bunch for a guy that's got like 9 Twitter followers? He puts his news station in his Twitter handle so he sounds official.
Yeah,
I looked through some of his tweets. Come on.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Area code 330. Hi, who's this?
Hey, Nick, this is Tony from Fairfield. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Not a lot, man. It's a great season to be a Bengals fan. We say all the time after a game like the one against Pittsburgh, it's a great day to be a Bengals fan. Well, it's been a great season to be a Bengals fan. I've been a fan of the Bengals since the '81 Super Bowl, and I've seen some good teams over the years, and just enjoying the season. How about you?
It's hard to not enjoy this. I mean, I'm still amazed, Tony, at how much negativity I still see surrounding this team on social media. Like, just enjoy it, man. They're 7-0, and I know that they haven't won anything yet, but come on, man. They've never done this before. Like, just enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. And the big thing about the Pittsburgh game that had me scratch my head was, like you were talking earlier, not going to Gio Bernard. They may have had one carry or so. And I don't know if that was because I saw some plays where he was struggling in pass protection, or if they just wanted to try and get Jeremy Hill going. But this game sets up as a huge game for both running backs, with Cleveland being dead last against the run. I think they gave up 10 runs of 20 or more yards and 4 of 40 or more yards this year. So, I expect to have over 200 yards rushing for the team this week.
Are you dropping a bold prediction on us, Tony?
That's a bold prediction.
Oh, I like it. I like it, man. You got anything else bold for tomorrow night?
No, I mean, I think we win comfortably. I don't think it's going to be the slaughter that we had against Johnny Manziel in his debut, but I think that we'll win comfortably. What do you think about the running back situation? Do you think that they give Jeremy another chance at trying to get him going, or do you think they go with Gio and hope for the big plays to break loose?
Mickey, I know you're itching to chime in on that one.
I mean, I think they go Hill. I think he's the chosen starter, and I think that people are questioning the Bengals getting away from the run in the Pittsburgh game, but really going into that game, the Pittsburgh run defense was pretty strong, probably the strongest part of their defense, and they had a perceived weakness in the passing game, and the Bengals misfired in their passing game, but I think that was the game plan going in. Now you have a team in the Browns that are the worst in the NFL at the run, like you said, and I think that we're going to see Hill. I think that we're going to run more than we pass, so it's going to be one of those situations where Hill's going to get hot, run, and then they're going to spell him with Bernard, and both guys are going to have pretty decent numbers. But it's interesting the struggling in pass protection, because that's another part that I think the Bengals are kind of tipping their hand in. When Hill's in, you're pretty sure it's a running play. It's rare that they're going to do something creative in the passing game when he's in, but when Bernard's in, it seems like they've stopped handing the ball off to him and made him part of the passing game or in the blocking. And I think if they become predictable in that, it could be an issue. I don't know that that's going to change this week if they focus on the run, and you picked it up, and I think that other teams may be picking it up also.
Scott, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what their game plan is on Thursday night, simply because with Hayden and Whitner out, you also wonder they should have a big advantage in the passing game too. So, it might be one where they come out and can kind of have a completely balanced offense. They ought to be able to run the ball all over the Steelers, and with Hayden and Whitner out, they ought to be able to pass all over them as well. So, I think you should see a pretty high scoring affair on the Bengals side at least tomorrow night.
Should be a fun one. Tony, appreciate the call, and thanks for the bold prediction, man.
All right, thanks. Good day, guys.
Good day. That's Tony here giving us a ring here on Inside the Jungle. We'll take some more calls. We've got plenty of lines open. 513-657-2807. I know Fatal Content and Cody are trying to get in touch with us. Let's see if we can get in touch here with our good pal Cody Toomey. We haven't heard from him in a couple weeks. He was fun on Twitter this week talking about some of the trades that the Browns may or may not make. I was hoping that Alex Mack would end up here in Cincinnati. It didn't happen. Clearly, he didn't learn his lesson from the Brandon Tate bet. Cody, what's going on, man?
Not too much, Nick. How are you guys doing?
Dude, they're 7-0. It's amazing.
Doesn't get much better. I was at the bar with a bunch of Steeler fans and Bengals fans. I got to instantly rub it in. As the whole game, they were just looking at us going, how nervous you guys are. You guys are so scared you're going to lose this game. And we were like, nah, we're just watching it. And then when that AJ touchdown happened, they started to get their butts puckered up. And they were like, uh-oh. And then when the Reggie pick came, like the next play, they were just like, one dude was just like, got up. He's like, I'm leaving. Like, no, you're staying. You're going to stay here and soak it up. So,
talk to us about Russell Bodine. What's going on, man?
Man, he is really, really struggling. Teams have figured out to just bring the bull rush on him, and he's just getting put on skates a lot. So they're really relying on Zeitler and Bowling to help him and chip. So it's very concerning. Obviously, Alex Mack was an upgrade, but I knew that they wouldn't really do it. I'm just saying, like, you could instantly improve this team by making one trade that could help you get to the top, but I don't think, like you said, the Browns aren't going to make that move. The Bengals aren't going to make the move. Although I would argue, as a GM, your best bet is just to get assets, right? If you get a third-round pick out of it, who cares if the Bengals beat you twice this year? Like, that doesn't matter. You're not making the playoffs anyways, right? Take the third-round pick, but that's just me.
So is this a position that you think they're going to address next year in the draft?
Yeah, I think they have to. I think they're going to have to take a center in the first 3 rounds. There's a couple good guys. A guy from LSU is really intriguing me. There's a guy from Missouri, Boeheim. Man, he's like last year, you guys all know I like Lael Collins. Obviously, there were some circumstances that led to him not getting drafted, but Boeheim is like a center version of him. He's like nasty to the end of the play. You'll see him just like blast a guy as the runner's way down the field. He'll just square a guy up and knock him down just because he still can. And, like, he's gritty. I like him. He's a good player. So if you guys want to see a guy that I think would be a good replacement to Bodine, throw on a Missouri game and watch their center. He's nasty.
I mean, that's why I'm so surprised. I mean, I guess the only thing that really stands out to me with Bodine is the issues with the snaps. How much of an issue is it? I guess you mentioned that he's getting bull rushed a lot, but is he faring okay in the run game at least?
Well, I think the problem with him is when he has a bad play, it gets in his head, and then he makes a bad snap out of it, So I think his stuff, it's like we've seen with Andy in the past. Like he makes a bad play, and then it tailspins, and it ends his game. He plays terrible the rest of the game. You'll see Bodine make a bad play, and then a bad snap, and then a bad read, and then a missed block, and it's like they piggyback off each other. So, I mean, in the run game, he's at least sealing his guys like you would want him to, but and he's really not getting the push he needs, and I think that's why you've seen Hill struggle a little bit, is because he needs to get to the line of scrimmage clean and then get downhill on the second level. So that's why they put a fullback in there with him this week.
I'd imagine that you feel that they're going to crush the Browns Thursday night.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. It's got trap game written on it if you're an old Bengals team, but I think this team is laser focused. And Dre played pretty bad on the first drive, but I watched the all 22s this week. He stumbled a couple times with his footing in that first drive, but after the first drive, he was much better. There were some balls where they were targeting him, but he was kind of there, and it just was, bad luck that the guy kind of had him by a step, and Ben put it on a good spot. So, but I think Denard's played really well in the time they've had him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get some more snaps, and maybe Kirkpatrick's snaps get cut back a little bit. So his biggest issue when he came out was his backpedaling. So. I think they're still trying to get his footwork squared away because he never had to really do a backpedal and turn, and that's where one of the big plays that almost happened was that. But Reggie came over and saved him.
Well, it should be a fun one Thursday night. Thanks for all the draft knowledge. I'm sure we'll be getting in touch more and more with you throughout the offseason, Cody, to get inside that head of yours.
Yeah, I'm just getting things ramped up as far as the draft goes. I'm just trying to enjoy this ride. It's been fun, and like you said, no one's ever seen a Bengals team that's 7-0, so I feel like it's been a great year to be a Bengals fan, and I'm looking forward to. I think they can get to 9-0 pretty easily. I think the Arizona game is going to be their first tough game that they see next, because they're going to come off a Monday night game, have to travel to Arizona to a good team, so. I think that's a little bit of a difficult game they have coming up, but I think this team is going to go 14-2. So I'm going to call 14-2. Surely they'll slip up once or twice, but I think 14-2 and a first round bye.
I like it, Cody. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, man, and all the Steelers fans, like you said, I'm with you. I don't feel bad for Steelers fans that Bell got hurt. I feel bad for the NFL because he's a great player to watch play, but I never saw them sending get well soon cards to Kevin Huber, Keith Rivers, Carson Palmer, and those guys. So they're just sour grapes. It was a perfectly clean tackle. I watched it like 20 times to be sure. He basically just leaps at him. His momentum swings his legs around. It's just bad luck. Knees. Le'Veon's knee buckled mostly, though, I think because Reggie Nelson was right there, and he was trying to square him up, and Le'Veon tried to duck himself down to make sure he didn't take a shot from Reggie. So I think that's what actually caused him to keep his knee in the ground or a foot in the ground and get hurt. But sour grapes, you want to call out. I just hope that Steelers don't pull a cheapie on us next time, but I can expect that they'll try to.
Yeah, I'm sure the Bengals will be on full alert when they come to town in a couple weeks. Appreciate the call, Cody.
Yeah, no worries. 8-0, Who Day. Let's do this.
Who Day, buddy. That's Cody Toomey joining us here on Skype from over on the left coast. Let's see if we can get our boy Fadel in here. I know he mentioned Fadel's in the middle of playing Madden, and he told me to message him when ready. So I'm giving you a ring, Fadel. I hope you answer. Of course, he's not going to. I just knew that was going to be the case. Oh, there he is. Fadel, what's up, man?
Hey, man. You know I'm here, man. How's everything going?
Are you winning at Madden? That's all I want to know.
Oh yeah, I'm online with the Bengals, man. I just 31-14 the guy, so he had to quit, man. So I went outside to get the call, man.
Are you when you play online Madden? Are you do you run the ball more, or you just air it out?
It depends on the opponent. If the opponent is giving me the run, I run. If it give me the pass, I pass. I can adjust, but I like to run.
All right, fair enough. 7-0, man. How's it feel?
Oh man, it feels amazing, man. You already know how I felt,
I
man.
know.
You know I thought we were gonna go 13-3, and I still even had a hard time picking out those 3 losses. But I said 13-3 to be realistic, but I still think we can do it. 7-0 feels amazing.
So what's going to happen tomorrow night against the Browns?
I think it's gonna get ugly. I know I said that last week, and it was a
I think
great
you said
game.
that last year too.
Yeah. But I actually think with no Joe Hayden, man, with Johnny Manziel back there, who's to tell if he's gonna hit the liquor bottle before the game? I think we'll handle him, man. I think it's gonna be 24-13. Not that bad, but the score is not gonna indicate how dominant it was.
All right. Probably a lot of running the ball.
Yeah, a lot of running the ball. I will say this though. I just wanted to get a little quick thing in, man. I know a lot of people are trying to discredit Dalton. I just think this is a perfect storm with this team. I think it was Hugh Jackson's second year with guys staying healthy. The combination of Dalton working on his game and elevating his intelligence and his accuracy. I think he's put in a lot of hard work, and I think the combination of his weapons is legitimate MVP consideration for him. I'm tired of people, if Dalton were to play bad this year, they say, oh, he has all his weapons, but it's Dalton being Dalton. But now that he's playing well, all of a sudden everyone's saying it's purely on the weapons. Remember, someone has to throw them the ball, someone has to make the reads, and man, he's been throwing the ball beautifully, man. So I think it's a team effort. I just think it's a perfect storm for us, and I think we need to capitalize on it because this season seems like it's magical.
So, a week ago, he was number 1 in quarterback rating, and after his, let's see here, and after his, I guess, bad performance against the Steelers, he dropped all the way down. I believe, if I'm looking at this correctly, his rating. Oh, here I have to filter this out correctly. He dropped to 4th, 107.6. He's behind Brady, Rodgers, and Palmer. 3 pretty good quarterbacks.
Yeah, how dare he? He's so sorry. How dare Dalton? What's wrong with him?
Still doing pretty well. He's still he's got 15 touchdowns to 4 picks. You'll take that any day.
Any day. Hey, man. Dalton for MVP. The bandwagon is starting up. I've been driving it. I'm ready for it.
Awesome, Fatal. Appreciate the call, man.
Hey, no problem. Hey, can I get a question tonight? And just real quick, man.
Go for it.
Hey, man, I just wanted to know what you guys, since you guys watched the game and you guys have been seeing the team, what do you guys think can help us turn this running game around? Is it simply just it's going to get clicking when it gets cold, or do you guys think it's something that Hugh needs to do, or is it all Jeremy Hill? I was wondering what you guys' opinion was as to why or when the running game, how the running game is going to get going.
It's called playing the Browns, Fatal. No, I'm kidding. Mickey, what do you think?
I mean, it might be playing the Browns, and I think that's a good setup for them to get it rolling. But I don't think it's an issue to this point. You can only do so much in a game, and so far the passing game has been pretty incredible. We're talking about the resurgence of Andy Dalton, and I say ride that for as long as you can. And tomorrow night might be the time to run the ball. Though I think that tomorrow's going to get ugly, like you started with. So. I think we'll see success in many phases of the game tomorrow.
I think it's just a matter of committing to the run. I don't think to this point, given the weather and the way the passing game's been clicking, that they've really committed to the run. I think you saw that last year, the first half of the season, their run game wasn't that great. In the second half of the season, as things got colder, they committed to it, and it really took off. So I think you'll see it start with the Browns. Some of that has to do with the fact their run defense is so bad. But I think starting with the Browns and going into the colder weather, you'll start seeing more of Hill.
And Bernard, don't forget. Bernard's, I mean, you could argue that Bernard's already having a pretty good season. They're just not giving him the carries.
Right, and that's what I meant. I mean, you're already seeing Bernard in the running game. I think you're going to see Hill in there more come the cold weather.
So there you have it, Fatal.
All right, man. Great answer by you guys, man. Good hearing my boy Scotty B back, man. I'm glad my boy Scotty B is back. Good to hear you guys, man. Always a great show. And here's the 8-0, man. Automatically 8-0.
Who Dey Fatal. Appreciate the call.
Who Dey. Yep.
He's got it in the bag. They're playing the Browns tomorrow night. He knows they're going to be 8-0. I sure hope you're right, Fatal. Let's go back to the phones. Area code 609. Hi, who's this?
It's Josh from New Jersey.
Hey, what's going on, Josh? How you feeling?
Not good.
Yeah. Appreciate you calling in on the letter. That's dedication, Holmes.
Yeah. This flu has been pretty bad. Knocked me out for 3 days now, so it is what it is. But I was calling because it's kind of on the page with Mickey when you brought up the point of Bengals fans. I had one of the most annoying things happen. There was somebody who had said the game's over with 6 minutes left, and I just said no. Like, it's not over yet. It's too early. So then this individual gets up and says, we're 7-0 Who Dey Nation on, like, Monday morning. So I just responded, you don't get to do that.
Right.
You gave up on the team. They're like, oh, I was in a bad moment. No, I don't care. You gave up on the team. Why did you really give up on them? Yes, you did. So Bengals fans, get on board. It's time to really roll with this. I also want to call out Steelers fans because they do a lot of talking. And then when push came to shove, your team is down by 6 points with a minute to go. You have Ben Roethlisberger, and your stadium's half empty.
I so meant to bring that up when Jay was on the show because he posted a picture from the stadium during the drive, and there was nobody there.
I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, I'm not a big Ben Roethlisberger fan at all. I'm trying to be nice. I don't get it. For a fan base that does so much talking, I'm happy that they left that stadium, the few of them that actually stayed, with that ridiculous towel wiping their eyes. Makes me a very happy individual. So I had tweeted to Mickey what does a history class and a Steelers fan have in common, and I said they both live in the past and only bring up the present when it's convenient. And it's so true. So anyway, I think Bengals roll by 3 touchdowns tomorrow night. So I hope everybody has a good night, and Who Dey.
Who Dey, Josh. Appreciate the call. Get some rest, man.
I'll try.
Who Dey. That's Josh getting some giving us a ring, even though he's feeling under the weather tonight. Good stuff from him. Mickey, I don't know if you listened to the post-game show or not, but I finally, for the first time ever, blocked some folks on Twitter on Sunday because of game over and just arguing with me about how awful this team is. I've never gotten to that point with me before, but I just could not handle it anymore.
It's just ridiculous. It just ruins, anything you want to see on Twitter. And like he said, like I called a guy out a few weeks ago, an Eric guy that just continues. You watch him during the game, it's just miserable. Then the game ends. He's like, "Who Dey, baby?" Like, no. Like all you did was talk crap the whole time, and then you do that. And it's typical. And I've blocked a bunch of people, and I feel pretty good about doing it.
Yeah, it's just annoying. And this is, yeah, I just don't get it. I really don't. They're 7-0, man. Just like enjoy it. Why can't you enjoy it? And why do you feel the need to tweet ball game out when it's 10-6 and there's like 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Like, really? Did you not learn your lesson from the Seattle game? Like, hello, come on. And it's not like the Steelers had given you any evidence during the game that they were going to do anything with that football offensively. Outside of the opening drive, they did nothing offensively. I mean, come on, have faith. Right, Scott?
Nick, we were talking about before the show, man. Unfortunately, Bengals fans they're a fickle bunch. There's not a lot of faith. And I think there's maybe not a large fraction, but there's a decent-sized fraction of this fan base, and the Reds for that matter, that I think they enjoy. I think they claim to be fans but root for the team to lose. It's like they enjoy complaining about the team losing more than they enjoy being happy about the team winning. I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't just root for someone else then. But for whatever reason, there's some fans that would rather the team lose so they can complain than win so they can be happy. And I don't get it.
It baffles me. It really does. They're 7-0. Enjoy it. Soon to be 8-0. Hopefully after Thursday night. We'll go one more caller here. Area code 314. Hi, who's this?
Hey, what's going on, Nick? Antoine, how y'all doing?
I think we have a new nickname for you, Antoine.
What you guys got for me?
I saw, and I'm apologizing ahead of time. I can't remember who said this on Twitter, but I think we're going to call you Ant-Man. You like Ant-Man?
From that movie or something?
Yeah, you
Ant-Man
like
the movie?
You like Ant-Man?
Yeah, I can dig it. I can go with that. Go with that.
What's going on, Ant-Man?
Not much, man. Nice to see y'all again, Scott, Mickey, long time. No, I was going to talk about, man, to see. I'm proud of the analysis and other people talking about, never giving us our credit, and we're still hearing the same old things. Even though we won that game, we talk about how lucky we were and how Pittsburgh put out a blueprint and how to beat us, and things like that. I mean, when has these games not going down to the last play? I mean, all these games have been ugly. Like, when's the last time a Steelers-Ravens game has been pretty? I mean, not giving us credit for winning these type of games. I mean, yeah, we didn't look good, but I mean, we usually lose these games. How many years have Steelers won these games in the playoffs, these type of games, ugly games, and still get credit for it? I mean, Aaron Rodgers had 77 yards passing last week. Nobody's really caring about that. Nobody's really talking about it. And they say, oh, he's still good and he'll do great for the rest of the year. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just tired of people, getting down on the Bengals, even when they win games like this. Because if Pittsburgh would have scored a touchdown on that last play, we'd hear all the bad, really bad things about the Bengals and how great the Steelers were. But now that they didn't get that last play, Ben is hurt, playing hurt. Le'Veon Bell went out, and so all the different excuses. So it's just, man, it just bugs me when they do all this.
I'm with you, Antoine. In fact, I had a soccer game I had to go play Sunday night, so I had my wife record Football Night in America before the. Yeah, can you hear me, Antoine?
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
All right. Yeah, so I recorded Football Night in America, and I went back and watched it, and because I want to see what they're saying about the team. I want to see what's going on. So I record the game day final on NFL Network at night. Like, they don't ever talk about this team. So I will say this: Sunday night is right at the beginning of Football Night in America. They're talking to Chris Collinsworth and Heinz Ward, and Chris Collinsworth flat out said, "This is a game the Bengals never win. These sloppy, slug-it-out fights with the Steelers, they never win these games. And the fact that they went there and won today, and he was impressed." So
you guys are like cut in and out. I can barely hear you. But.
All right, we'll drop Antoine. Sorry about that, Ant-Man. We'll get that fixed for next time. But again, he's right though. Like, where's the love? I'm still waiting for the love. And even Scott, you and I were talking about this before we started the show tonight. Like, I listen to Dan Patrick every day, but it's always the same thing. Well, when are they going to win a playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, you still get it. I mean, it's when are they going to win the playoff game? Prior to this game, it was they hadn't beaten anyone with a winning record, although the Raiders do have a winning record now. It's the primetime jinx. There's always something where the media is discounting this team. They're 7-0, but can they win the playoffs? And unfortunately, it's nothing that they can dispel at this point in time in the season. I mean, none of these things can they get rid of until the playoffs. Unfortunately, it's just kind of an easy way for the media to dismiss them. But as they keep winning, I mean, it gets harder and harder for the media to dismiss them. So I don't mind flying under the radar one bit. I kind of prefer this team having that chip on their shoulder of being the underdog. So I kind of hope they keep flying under the radar.
We'll see what happens. Thanks for all the calls tonight. You guys are the best. Appreciate you holding and chiming in. Love hearing from Bengals fans around the world. It's time now to get to our predictions for Thursday Night Football. Mickey, I'll start with you. Give me a score prediction and what's going to happen.
Nick, I think the Bengals are going to put up a 40 spot.
40 burger.
So I'm going to say it's 40-17. I think that the tickets, the secondary market for these tickets I happen to see today, like the cheapest you can find is like 160, which for a Bengals game, that's outrageous. It's awesome. So this place is going to be rocking, and I think that that's going to feed the team, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a nice night. I'm going to have a blast. It's going to be cool.
So Mickey's predicting a 40 burger. What about you, Scott?
Wow, we're on the same wavelength. I was also going 40. I think with the Browns' terrible run defense, with the guys that are missing in the secondary, I don't think they can stop the Bengals from scoring. I got 42-16, a payback for last year's Thursday night game.
I'm going to one-up you both. I'm going 50 burger. 55-10. The Bengals knock off the Browns on Thursday Night Football.
Wow.
You like that, Mickey?
That's ballsy. That's solid. That's your bold prediction / score prediction and all in one.
Yeah.
That's right. Where's the music for that one, Subes?
I got it. Don't you worry. So there you have it. Let's see some other score predictions. Let's see. Slip in the chat room says 27-13 Cincy. Michael Anderson 42-21. Doc Ox 38-16 Bengals winning. Yeah, they're all surprised. They're just now seeing that I said 55. So I know there was another 31-13 in here, and I'm probably missing it. Chris Eccles 31-13 was his score prediction as well. Cody Toomey thinks they're getting 2 defensive touchdowns. Oh, yeah, Mickey, your Tecmo score wasn't that far off from any of our score lines, really.
No, it was a fun Tecmo to put out there.
I love that every week, man. I read it every week. It's so much fun. Although I do miss James Harrison not getting sacks for the Bengals.
Gino's stepping up. He's putting together multi-sack games now.
If you haven't read it, go check it out. Tecmo Bowl Futures. Mickey does it every week at cincyjungle.com. It's a highlight of my week for sure. Texasaur. I like that name. 26-12 Bengals. I only picked this score because it will be another ugly-looking game on a short week. All right, I can see that. Larry Rolson, 32-7. He's saying that the Bengals, Aloha Larry, saying 32-7 the Bengals win. So there you go. Tom Brooks, 27-7. He's predicting the Bengals win as well. All right, good stuff, everybody. Let's do some shout-outs before we get out of here. Shout-outs! Mickey, why don't you start us off?
My shout-out was on the show. I'm back and forth with him on Twitter. We agree with some of the moronic voices of the fan out there. So I'm going to shout out Fly Guy Josh. Hang in there and start blocking people. It's way easier.
All right. Good stuff. Mick, how about you? Scott, you got a shout out?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to our guy, Paul Malloy. Paul had a nice tweet to me. It was actually going to be my shout out last week if I wasn't at Disney on Ice. So I'm giving him the shout out this week for a nice tweet he had about my article on the locker room issue a few weeks back. So shout out to Paul Malloy today.
I'm going to give a couple shout outs, so bear with me. I've got our newest patrons. Got to give a shout out to Joe Barnett, Michael Soldano. He is our newest associate producer. Michael, thank you for your support of Inside the Jungle. And, of course, Michael Anderson. They've all contributed to our Patreon campaign. Thank you for your support of the show. Also going to give a shout out to Matt Edwards from Channel 5 there at Cincinnati. If you've been listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Go cover the Steelers. All right. Let's see. I'm also going to give a shout out this week to Guy. He won our Patreon Pick'em League again. He's our two-time winner now. He won a couple weeks ago. I think he was our second week winner, and he won again this week. Congrats to Guy and winning. He's actually leading our Patreon Pick'em League right now with 87 correct picks this week. So Guy, congratulations, and I'll be sending $25 your way, courtesy of SPNT.TV. Final thoughts before we wrap up. Scott Bantel. Did Scott leave us? Okay. I think he meant to hit mute, and he accidentally closed the Hangout. So I'm going to go to you now, Mickey. Final thoughts as we wrap up episode 219.
I'm excited for the game tomorrow, Nick. I haven't been this pumped to actually attend the game in a while, and I'm going to say if you I don't know, if you think that there's going to be a repeat of last year, there's something wrong.
Well, have fun, Mickey. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the weather. Appreciate you stopping by this week. And I missed you last week, man.
I missed y'all too.
Final thoughts as we go back to Scott Bantel.
I hope you enjoyed me ducking your question before. I just completely hopped out of the chat, out of the Hangout to avoid you. But final thoughts. I have a little bit of concern with this Thursday night game, just the base off last year. But I don't see any way the Bengals don't bring this one home. I like the matchup the next 2 weeks. I look at them, and I think 9-0 is in their future, Nick.
9-0 would be really nice. One game at a time, though, Scott. You got to get to 8-0 first. My final thoughts, again, just win. Just go out and win. I don't care, honestly, if you put up 55. I don't care if you put up 3 and you shut them out. Just go win. Get to 8-0. That's all that I really want right now. Just keep it rolling, right? And the biggest thing, come out of this game unscathed. Stay injury-free if you can. That's a big thing as well. Got to be healthy down the stretch here in the season. So that's my final thoughts for tonight's episode. Again, thanks to everybody who tuned in live tonight here at CincyJungle.com. If you can't make our live shows, or actually a reminder that we do record the show live every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern right here at CincyJungle.com. But again, if you can't make our live show, you can always download our audio and video on demand. We're on iTunes. We have the Inside the Jungle app, which you can download at spnt.tv/apps. It's available for both the iOS and Android platforms, so go check that out as well. But, of course, if you subscribe to other podcasts, you can find us wherever you find other podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere in podcasting directories, so you can download us and support us there. If you like what we're doing here on this podcast and you enjoy the callers and you enjoy the show, the post-game shows every Sunday, you've got to help us out. spnt.tv/Patreon. That'll go a long way in helping us out, and we really do appreciate your support of Inside the Jungle. Before we get out of here, I got to send a special thanks to my associate producers, Andy Lanham, Larry Rolson, Mike Vardy. Chris Setters is back on board. He got his Patreon figured out, so he's back as an associate producer. Fado Bayari, Josh Schuster, and our newest associate producer, Michael Soldano. Inside the Jungle is an SPNT production. For more information about our other podcasts, log on to spnt.tv. And as always, check out our amazing Bengals content over at CincyJungle.com. We'll be back Thursday night for Inside the Jungle postgame. We'll be burning the midnight oil. Can't wait to hear from Bengals fans from around the world. For Scott, for Mickey, I'm Subes. Oh, I almost forgot. We got to thank Jay Morrison from the Dayton Daily News for joining us this week as well. So for Scott, Mickey, we missed you, AC. Hope to have you back next week. I'm Subes. We'll see you next time on Inside the Jungle. Hooray, everybody!